Hello everybody, I'm Abby Burning, as you probably know by now, I hope, unless you're new. If so, welcome to my channel. I guess in this video I will talk about changing schools in the middle of my contract with EPIK/SMOE. And let me start out by saying, if you've read my blog, you know that it was not by choice. I did not break my contract with my old school to move to a new school mid-contract, so don't ask me questions about how you can do that if you want to do that, because I have no idea. So what happened was I was almost 2 weeks done with my English winter camp when my co-teacher at my old school came into the classroom when I was done teaching and said that the main office or whatever said that there's an email waiting for me in my email inbox, and so that I should check that tonight. She didn't know what it was. It kind of made me worried because I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, what's wrong? But I got home that night. I got an email saying that my school can't afford me. Basically, they can't afford me for the new school year, which would start in the spring, the next semester. It was just like such a complete shock to me. I was like, what? I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I am gonna miss everybody. Like, I loved that school. The students were so nice and they were so fun to work with. Like, that's the thing that I was the most just like worried about, is not knowing, one, where my new school would be, two, would I have to change apartments because my old school owned my apartment, and three, I'm gonna miss my students so much. Four, who knows how the teaching methods will change, like how my new co-teacher and I will end up working with each other, and if my responsibilities will change. I was worried about what my responsibilities would be. I was just worried. I wasn't like super stressed out about it yet, because I don't really stress out about things until it's like that time. As you can see, I was able to keep my apartment. Basically what happened is that my new school gave me the option of staying in this apartment, and they would just take over from my old school, who obviously wouldn't need this apartment anymore since they're not gonna be hiring another English teacher. I had the choice to go to the apartment that school offered, that the current English teacher there was staying at, but I didn't really know anything about it, and I'm happy here. I'm happy in this area, and I'm just happy with this location in general. When the first day of school comes, you can read about some of the details, like the basic technological details about that, on my blog post, but I'll just kind of go over the more emotions I was feeling on the first day of school rather than what happened. So the first day of school, I obviously was super nervous, but right away, like right off the bat, everybody was super friendly, and I just was like as nervous as I was still like, I was confident. Like, I've done this for a semester, like that's not very long, but I mean, I have some experience, you know? And so I was able to like relax and like talk to people, and I just like off the bat, I started talking to people in Korean, because I just like, when I started school at my old school, I had never taught a day in my life, so I was not only insanely nervous, but my confidence was not very high at all. And I just felt like, you know, I'm the bottom of the totem pole here. And so I was just like so nervous, like, okay, I'm supposed to like, I didn't know like what the work culture in Korea was like. Like, are you supposed to like just be respectful? Like, yeah, obviously you're supposed to be respectful, but like, how friendly can you be? And so I feel like I kind of shut myself in at my old school, because like, not that everybody saw that I was unconfident, but I was just like more quiet because of that. and I didn't really get into like the social life of the school because of that. With me, I don't know what it is. Like when I feel like I have a reputation with somebody, whether it's being like quiet, like it's hard for me to break that. Like, basically, I was stuck being quiet. Like I was like cheerful. Like I wasn't like so like hiding and like super unconfident the whole semester. I was like super fun and cheerful with the students, but then when it was like eating lunch with the other teachers, like I didn't really ever talk to the other teachers that much except for my co-teachers. I'm in this school and I'm not taking advantage of the people there. Like nobody, hardly anybody at that school really knew how much Korean I knew. I never spoke Korean, so nobody ever really tried talking to me in Korean, and I never really tried talking to anybody else in Korean or even really English, because I was just like stuck in that kind of quiet mindset that I was at the beginning of the semester. And so looking back at it now, I think switching schools was kind of like a blessing in disguise, because moving to my new school, obviously with experience, I was a lot more confident. And so right away, I was able to just like put myself out there and talk to people in Korean. Like I just talked to people in Korean, and I never used to do that before. Like I share a teacher's room with 3 other teachers, and I will just like ask them random questions if I know how to ask them in Korean. And it's really fun, and I don't know, like I feel like I'm just like more social at this school. Like it's more fun to like be around the other teachers at this school. And I think that's just all my doing. Like I'm sure I could have had those same sort of relationships right off the bat at my old school, but I was just like, what am I doing? And so it felt weird to just like turn into a completely different person halfway through the semester when I did start getting more confident. So I just kind of stayed the same person. And also another nice thing is that my co-teaching style is different at my new school, and my responsibilities are different. As I mentioned in one of my blog posts, at my old school, my co-teacher and I did a mix of 2 co-teaching methods. One is called One Teach, One Observe, where one teacher leads the class at a time while the other works on careful observations of the students. And then type 2, One Teach, One Drift, where one teacher leads the class at a time while the other teacher moves around class, assisting students if necessary, which is way different from what my new co-teacher and I have decided to try doing for this semester, which is the team teaching method, where it requires the most interaction between the teachers, as both teachers are teaching the content at the same time. So instead of at my old school how my co-teacher would do the book part of the lesson the first half of class, the first 20 minutes, and then I would do the games and activities in the last half of class. This time around, basically my co-teacher and I are sharing the duties. So we're both teaching at the same time. We're doing like kind of dialogues together for the students, and we're trying to like steer away from all the book stuff, because some of the stuff in the book is still a bit unnatural for conversation. Like what I noticed in the old textbook I had at my old school, there was a lesson in the book called "What Do You Know About Breadfruit?" And I was like, breadfruit? Well, I'm an English speaker and I didn't even know that breadfruit existed, and these students are learning this random word that I didn't even know existed. Apparently it's a fruit in Africa that smells like bread if you bake it. I learned that from the English book. It was like, okay, these students really do not need to know what breadfruit is. Instead of learning about things like breadfruit, you learn about things that actually matter. Like, I'm sure breadfruit matters to people, but like, do you really need to learn it in an elementary school English class. Not really. And another thing I am liking about team teaching, now that I've had my first team teaching day, basically, is that I am a part of the whole class and I feel like more of a teacher. At my old school, I kind of just felt like more of an assistant. I like being a part of the classroom the entire class period, and it also makes the class go by faster, and it makes the class a lot more fun because you are a part of it for the whole class. Number one thing though, I feel more like a legit teacher because I'm actually a part of the entire class period. So yeah, those are all my thoughts and feelings about transitioning from my old school to my new school. Overall, it's been good. I am super happy actually that I've had this transition, just for the fact that I can be myself at this new school and just have a fresh start, be myself, be confident right off the bat, I think is great. I think that's all I can think of as far as my emotions from switching schools. So I will just leave it at that. Be sure to check out my more recent blog posts. I have some of the more technical information outside of my personal thoughts and feelings. And yeah, I will see you next time.